My dear students, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So today we are going to start a new topic. So as we all are aware of the fact that in day-to-day conversation we keep on talking about a specific child is intelligent or a specific child shows a great interest of the intelligence. Now my question is, what and on what parameter we say that the specific child is intelligent and the specific one is not intelligent. Now in our day-to-day conversation, we find all these activities happening in day-to-day life. But the parameter on which we say that the individual child or the individual one is intelligent or not intelligent on the basis of the performance, on the basis of the observance, and how we observe the individual child in doing certain activities and performing in different activities. So accordingly it shows the level of intelligence. Now in case of the level of intelligence, so it reflects one individual's interest, motivation, aptitude and the communicative skills, and besides that there are many more factors which resemble, which show the one individual's intelligence level. So among the observations of the intelligence of one individual, so the interest, motivation, aptitude, communication skills, so and etc. are the different fields on the basis of which we observe the one individuals and say that one is intelligent and one is not intelligent. In case of the psychology, we call all this phenomena is termed as intelligence. In case of psychology, this is called as intelligence. So my dear students, today our topic is intelligence. Now if we see the ancient time, our rishis and the seers, they used to call the same intelligence as the viveka, that is vivek, as we call in Hindi vivek. So in case of while defining the intelligence, if we go through the dictionary meaning of the intelligence, the Oxford dictionary meaning of the intelligence, it shows the ability to acquire and apply knowledge and the skills. So intelligence as per the Oxford dictionary is the ability to acquire and apply knowledge and the skills. Accordingly, the different psychologists have defined the meaning of intelligence in different ways, but none of the psychologists they come to a uniformity. So exact definition what actually the definition of the intelligence should be. So different psychologists give the different specific aspects of the intelligence, but none of them they gave the exact what should be the definition of the intelligence and what it should carry the entire field of the area or the broader perspective. So let me define what the different psychologists have defined about the definition of the psychology. So Thorndike in the year 1914, he defined the intelligence as the power of good responses. Intelligence as the power of good responses from the point of view of truth or fact. So what we exactly define or respond is intelligence as per the Thorndike, and he gave this definition in the year 1914. Similarly, the another psychologist named as Terman, T-E-R-M-E-N, Terman in the year 1921, he defined intelligence as the individual's intelligence in the proportion. It is an individual's intelligence in a proportion that he is able to carry out an abstract thinking. So how we abstractly thinks about the any item, so shows the intelligence of one individual, that is as per the Terman in the year 1921. Then in the year 1937, Wagnon, he defined intelligence as the capacity to learn. He defined intelligence as the capacity to learn and adjust to relatively new and the changing conditions. So, how we learn, what is our capacity to learn, and how we easily accommodate into the new circumstances or into the new situation is called as the intelligence, or it shows the intelligence of one individual. So, it is the adjustment to the new situation, to the new condition. Then again in the year 1952, Jean-Piaget defined intelligence as the ability to adapt to one's surrounding. It's something near about similar to the Vernon. Vernon also said that it is relatively new and the changing adjustment to the new and changing conditions. And same in the year 1952, Jean-Piaget also told that to adapt to one's surrounding. So how we adapt ourselves into the new surroundings is shows the intelligence of one individual. Then in the once upon when the Einstein said that on the basis of intelligence, he defined intelligence as the sign of intelligence is not knowledge but it is the imagination. So what the knowledge is, on the basis of knowledge we can't signify or we can't say that one is intelligent, but we can say that one individual is intelligent on the basis of his or her imaginations. So imagination power is the most important factor as per the Einstein. In case of the intelligence, is not the knowledge but is the imagination. Similarly, once upon a time, Socrates as a philosopher, he defined intelligence as, I know that I am intelligent, but because I know that I know nothing. I am intelligent, I know that I am intelligent, what the Socrates said, I know that I am intelligent because I know that I do not know anything. And if that concept is among the individual, then it shows that he has the adaptability, he has the interest to learn many more things. And once he comes to know that, yeah, I know each and everything, then he can't learn many more things. And in that perspective, Socrates has rightly said that, yeah, I know that I am intelligent, but because I know that I know nothing. So seeing all these definitions given by the different psychologists in the field of educational psychology. So every psychologist have defined one or the other aspect of the intelligence. Someone said the adjustment to the new situation. Someone said that is the learning, is the behavior or something like that. But none of them, they combine together, come to a common platform. So what actually the definition of psychology should be. So among the definition of psychology, none of the psychologists came to the common point. So the every psychologist, they define the intelligence in their own view and how they perceive the term intelligence. Accordingly, he defined the term intelligence in their own way. So that is what the intelligence is. Is it clear? I think it's clear. Now among the intelligence, let us come to the another topic of the intelligence, subtopic let it be. That is the theory of intelligence. Now the theory of the intelligence has been divided into the two groups or the two categories, that is called as the factor theory and the cognitive theories. So theories of intelligence has been subdivided into the two categories or into the two groups. So the first group is the factor theory, second one is the cognitive theory. Now let me start from the factor theory itself. So among the factor theory, there are the many theories of intelligence from where the theory of intelligence promulgated or started. Among it, the first theory of intelligence is called as the unitary theory of intelligence or the monadic theory of intelligence. Unitary theory of intelligence or the monadic theory of intelligence. Now the unitary theory of intelligence is being given by Johnson and Stern. Unitary theory of intelligence. Given by Johnson and Stern. At the very top, the unitary means the single. So according to the unitary theory of intelligence, it says that among the every individual there is only one point of the intelligence, only one level of the intelligence, and according to which the every individual they do perform in the different fields. Or into the in other way we can say that among the unitary theory of intelligence, it is something like muscles. Mind is something like muscles. So as excessively we exercise the muscles, so that much the intelligence level will be shown. Similarly, to tone up the muscles of any parts of our body, to tone up the muscles of any part of our body, what we do? We do the excessive exercise of that specific area so that our muscles should get toned up or should come to the particular shape. Similarly, to get a tone up of our intelligence level, we need to exercise our mind. So as has been given by the unitary theory. So according to the unitary theory, every individual they have the level of intelligence that they imbibe from their ancestors or through the heredity, that is the genetically they imbibe, they have. Now if they are performing well in one field, it means that he has the level of intelligence that he can perform in different fields too. According to the unitary theory, there is only one factor, there is only one point which is responsible for every individual. Now let me clear by citing some examples. In case of the unitary theory, unitary theory says that if one individual is good in mathematics, if one individual is good in mathematics, then he should be good in other fields too. Other fields too means he will be good in physics, he will be good in civics, he will be good in different fields also. So he will be good in different fields also. So as we say that, as we have seen that in case of the unitary, if one is good in a specific field, he must show his intelligence level into the other fields too. But in reality, in practical approach, we do not find such type of things happening among the one individual. We do not find such type of things happening among the one individual. If it is so, one must be good in all the fields. If it is so, one must be good in all the fields. But none of us is good in all fields. Everyone has their uniqueness in their specific fields. None of us shows the same level of intelligence in all the fields of the life or in the life. So accordingly, this theory, unitary theory, being the oldest theory of the intelligence, is being rejected. Reason being, so it does not have any practical approach. It does not have any practical approach. So the very unitary theory of intelligence is being rejected. Then the another theory of the intelligence came, that is called as the anarchic theory or multi-factor theory, or it is also called as the atomistic theory. So the another theory of intelligence is anarchic or multi-factor or sometimes it is also called as the atomistic theory. So the second theory is anarchic theory or multi-factor theory or atomistic theory. Now this theory is being propounded by or is being given by Thorndike. So this is also called as the Thorndike theory of intelligence. Now in this case you can mention also the Thorndike, because this theory is being propounded or given by Thorndike, so it is also called as the anarchic theory, multi-factor theory or atomistic theory or Thorndike theory of intelligence. Now according to the anarchic theory or multi-factor theory, so it totally opposes what is being given by the unitary factor theory or monarchic theory. So monarchic theory or unitary theory says that there is single element which is responsible for every individual's intelligence. There is single element, and which is the common intelligence level that every individual has, and on the basis of that he performs all the activities, and he should perform all the activities. But anarchic theory says that no, it's not. This theory, as the name itself, is the multi-factor. So there are the many factors. It is not a single factor, but there are the many factors which are responsible for one individual's intelligence. Similarly, atomistic, what actually the atom is. Atom is the smallest unit or the smallest particle. Is the smallest particle, which is made up of electron, proton or neutron and neutron. Similarly, if we consider in case of the biological term, the smallest unit is the cell. The smallest unit is the cell. Now the different types of the cells combined together gives the tissues, organs, organ systems and like that, and then it gives the entire structure of one individual, that is the human body. Similarly, in case of the atom also, so the number of atoms combined together, they gives the molecules, and from there the formation of the compound or specific product takes place. So atomistic is also the combination of the many components, being the smallest one, and anarchic also resembles the more than one. So all this theory itself shows that this factor is not a single factor but is a composition of the many factors. Now the Thorndike says that every individual has got a general intelligence, that is the common intelligence that they do have, that we have inherited from our parents, that is the general intelligence. But besides the general intelligence, every individual, they show the specific level of intelligence in respective fields. Now this specific intelligence in the respective fields or the specific ability into the respective fields are the different segments which combines together gives the shape of one individual's intelligence. That is the anarchic theory or multi-factor theory or the atomistic theory. But again, in case of this theory, it does not talk about what are those common factors which are responsible for one individual's intelligence. No doubt, it says that every individual has got common intelligence level. Besides that, they have some other components of the intelligence or components of the ability, and because of that one individual is able to show his level of intelligence. But what are those components? So about those components, the anarchic or multi-factor or atomistic theory or Thorndike by that time was unable to reveal the fact about the components. Then the third theory came, that is the third factor, And the third factor is called as the Spearman's two-factor theory, and which is also very important for the examination point of view also. Generally this is a frequently asked question in case of the factor of intelligence or among the theory of intelligence, that is the Spearman's two-factor theory. Spearman's two-factor theory. So as the name itself, the theory is being given by Spearman. Spearman is the name of a psychologist. He gave the theory, Spearman, and it shows that there are the two factors. Like in case of the first one, we saw that unitary factor, there is a single factor. Then we saw that the multi-factor or the anarchic theory, atomistic theory or the multi-factor theory. Now Spearman says that no, there are the two factors which are responsible for one individual's intelligence, and this theory was given by the Spearman in the year 1923. In the year 1923, Spearman gave the two-factor theory. So generally it is called as the two-factor theory, and it is also known as the Spearman's two-factor theory because this theory was given by the Spearman in the year 1923. Now in case of the Spearman's two-factor theory, he said that like the unitary, every individual has got the general intelligence level, and he defined this general intelligence level or the general ability of one individual by capital letter G, or somewhere in the books it is also mentioned as by small letter g. So general capital letter G, or somewhere it is also mentioned by small letter g. Now G represents the general intelligence of one individual. Now this general intelligence of one individual that we inherit, that every individual of us have. Now where it lies? It lies in our mind. If we cut our brain from the middle, then at the center we got a point that is called as the cerebral cortex. Cerebral cortex. And cerebral cortex is the source of energy, is the source of intelligence. If we go much more deep into the cerebral cortex, then within the cerebral cortex there are the two matters, and they are the grey matter and the white matter within the cerebral cortex. Forget about the white matter. And the grey matter is whole soul responsible for one individual's intelligence level, which lies within the cerebral cortex. That is the grey matter. Grey matter is whole soul responsible for one individual's intelligence level, and whatever the number of the grey matter may be, so that is being reflected by our performance on the basis of intelligence. And the fact is that the level of grey matter can't be increased, can't be decreased. So we can't increase or decrease the level of intelligence of one individual directly, and that is how the general intelligence is. Then on the basis of general intelligence, someone shows the specific ability in certain field. Every one of us shows the specific ability in certain field, and that specific ability of individual is being shown by the capital letter S or the small letter s. And this S is the specific ability, G is the general ability, S is the specific ability. Then the Spearman told that what is the total intelligence of one individual. So the total intelligence of one individual is being represented by a letter A, and that is A is equal to G plus S or G plus S. Either you write in capital or in small. S represents the specific ability or the specific ability of one individual. Suppose myself or any one of you having a general intelligence, but at the same time you show the specific ability in the literature. Specific ability in the literature means you have the G, which is common to everyone, that we have got general common intelligence, and in case of, let it be as X, specific intelligence or the ability in Hindi. Similarly, if someone is good in mathematics, then represented by as M, specific ability in mathematics. Similarly, in other fields, let it be civics, let it be music, let it be art, drama, or whatever the field. So one individual shows the specific intelligence in the different field. As the Spearman says that there are the two factors. Now the things that arises, if one individual is good in maths, he may be good in literature also. It is not possible that one is good in maths, he may not be good enough in any other fields. So he can show his specific ability in different fields too. So accordingly, then the A becomes, that is the total intelligence of one individual becomes G plus S1 plus S2 plus S3 plus ... Means he shows his specific ability in one field, in different fields, and the different fields likewise. That is what the Spearman. But on the basis of this total intelligence given by the Spearman, the contradictory arises. What the contradiction is? He says that there are the two factors only. Two factors only. But while doing the experiment, he himself found that it's not the two factors, but there are the many factors. So that is the contradiction. Says something, while doing the experiment, found something different. So that is what the Spearman's two-factor theory is. So especially the Spearman's two-factor theory depends upon the G and the S, general intelligence, which is whole soul responsibility of one individual itself, depending upon the number of the gray matter, and the another is the S, specific ability of one individual. So my dear students, today we came to know about what actually the intelligence is, what the different psychologists they have defined intelligence in the different manners, and what they perceive. So accordingly they gave the definition of the intelligence in the field of psychology. Besides that, we have also seen the different factors. As we know that there are the two factors, that is theories of intelligence has been categorized on the two parameters, that is the factor theory and the cognitive theory. And among the factor theory we have discussed the three factors today. The first one is the unitary theory, second one is the anarchic theory, and the third one is the Spearman's two-factor theory. So for today, let us keep up to here only, and the rest factors like the group factor,